On a day-to-day basis, it's coordinating the aides and ensuring the aides know what their allocation is for the day, and make sure that the students who need to be covered are covered. If students are away, making sure that the aides are reassigned. It could mean taking phone calls relating to integration queries, students that might be coming, parents who have concerns. It might also involve having SSG meetings, which we do on a regular basis, and finding out information, liaising with staff about particular students.
Now, I've thought about this question.
Yeah.
My job is pretty varied. I guess if I had to say what it is I look after all the kids with special needs.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
However, that involves quite a lot of things. So I'll just go through what I've written down.
Sure. No problem.
So I have to organise and chair progress meetings on a termly basis.
Mm-hmm.
So that involves sending out progress reports to all teachers of all funded students, which I collate. Then I organise meetings with parents, and then we discuss their progress or not. If there's problems, we come up with strategies, etc.
Sure.
I coordinate the integration aids, so I look at where they're needed.
Yeah.
I provide staff with information about students,
Yeah.
And strategies, etc.
It really, the main two that are at this school are kids with autism and students with an intellectual disability.
Sure.
There's many students with language disabilities, but they're no longer funded, but we sometimes have some input into the support of those students.
Sure. Okay, great.
Yeah, there's the most common, I guess, here are severe language disorder.
Sure.
That's where students have problems with expressive or receptive language skills.
Mm-hmm.
So they have problems across the board in understanding or expressing. Intellectual disability is probably the second highest proportion. And of course students will have difficulties across the board there too. Although some cope very well in some subjects, it's great. Autism and Asperger's, we have a few students with that here, and that's, since I've been here, that's got less over the years, which is interesting. They're great kids to work with, very, very different. We have kids with physical disabilities. And well, not severe, but they have had severely physical disabled children in the past here. And ADHD, ADD.
Sure.
There are. We do, as I said, we sort of go in and speak to the students about particular disabilities and make them aware that we're here if they want to sort of discuss particular issues or things that they might have about the students with the disability. We've had, for example, a group called Travelling Autism who've come in, and they've been happy to talk to a school group. So there are programs around, but we haven't accessed them a lot.
No, and that was an interesting one. But obviously, if things happen, as they say, an autistic child is being a bit out there, we might sort of take the kids aside and explain things to them.
Sure.
And say, look, this child doesn't understand the ways that it should be. We're teaching them, but they might not do it properly. So but that's it really.
Okay, sure. Disability?
I will inform staff of PDs that are available. There's plenty of PDs outside of school. We've done a couple of PDs here internally, where I've run one on learning disabilities, language disabilities. We've also done one on autism as well, and we've had somebody come in to talk to the staff about autism. So there are plenty of PDs around, and we've had a few internally.
Yes, I think PD's offered to all staff.
Sure.
I've brought outside people in to give PD as well. And I talked to people about it at the beginning of the year, about the different types of disability and what that means.
Great.
I'd say so.
Never enough. Never enough.
Sure.
We've got students. We've got one student here, for example, with an IQ of 65,
Sure.
and she gets 5 periods a week.
Yeah.
It really doesn't do anything.
Doesn't add up.
Students with autism, they get probably no more than 10 periods a week of
Sure.
coverage. That's just the way the funding works. So it's never enough. Often we find that reviews are done for integration students at grade 6, and more often than not, their funding is cut by at least one level.